So hi, good afternoon, Dr. Dishika Goyal. I welcome you again for this wonderful interaction. You are somebody who is just, you're mind-blowing, amazing. You got an All India rank of 69 in your NEET PG 2023, and now you are at an All India rank of 90 in your INICET May. All this while you have been doing your internship. So heartiest congratulations. How does it feel again?
Thank you so much, sir. It feels amazing to get a rank, to get a good rank again, and to give an interview with you again.
So this was planned thing. Na? I told
Yeah.
Dishika ka interview मैं ही लूँगा. Wonderful, wonderful. No, you have been a kind of an inspiration, not only for the students who have listened to your NEET PG interview, but for me as well. Last time we spoke, there was a lot of lucidity in the way you approached your exams. And what I always want is a genuine feedback and a genuine going through the journey and the downs that you discussed with the students that time in the interview, where you felt are down and out and disheartened. That was something that I felt needed to be put out, that even with the best possible people who are getting the best possible result, it's not like the journey is very easy. So tell me now, what happened after NEET? Because you became a celebrity overnight and now you had something else to focus on. So what was your strategy in the 2 months after you got your NEET results?
Actually, after NEET, I had a setback because I got sick. So I nearly lost nearly 2.5 weeks. I mean, I tried to study, but I couldn't do much. And after that, it took some time to get up, to just gain the momentum, to be able to study for long hours. So I think, yeah, I had like lost some time, but I tried to make the most of what I had after that.
Okay.
And after that, I had INICET, TND, and mostly revisions and all.
Okay. So then you took up the TND as a revision thing, and then background mein wahi your notes and the way you put up everything on the back of your wall.
Yes, sir. So I think for INICET, the pattern of the exam is so different that you don't need to go through, like, you don't need to do everything, but you need to go selective and you need to do that thoroughly. So that was very important, and you need to hurry up with the syllabus because I nearly had like 1.5 months.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that I did a very efficient revision, but I just did as much as I could. And
But your results are saying otherwise.
and I attended the INICET TND also. I was not able to complete it, but yeah, I tried to do as much as I could again. And I think the one factor which is the most important in INICET is the PYQs. I mean, leave everything else, but I did PYQs thoroughly and I revised it again because there are direct repeats of the questions. I mean, topics are definitely repeated, but the question itself gets repeated. And for NEET, we say that it's okay that if you do previous 5 year, but for AIIMS, I say that one should do as much previous year questions as one is able to get. So I did previous 8 year questions. So that means
a very long time, because 8 years is 16 papers. Yeah. And I think more than that, because INI started 2.5 years back. So before that you had PGI. You also did PGI, JIPMER?
No, so I just did AIIMS.
You stuck to AIIMS. Okay. So do you believe that thorough understanding of INI helps a lot in terms of changing the way you approach the exam?
Yes, sir.
So now tell me, like, when I speak to people who are undergraduate from AIIMS, they have a very specific perspective in terms of what is being told to them to read about INI, because that goes down the legacy of the college. Because it's like most of the UGs of AIIMS, they end up doing PG in AIIMS. So their seniors tell their juniors, ye pad lena, ye pad lena, ye pad lena, more important topics. But then somebody who is not from AIIMS, someone like you, how did you come to this conclusion that what is important and what needs to be done for INI?
So actually, I had guidance from an AIIMSonian himself.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dr. Ajit Singh Oberoi, he guided me very thoroughly, like about every subject, what needs to be done and what you should just leave. And yeah, so I had a fair idea about
So,
how
I
to
mean,
go.
you do believe that this is something of an X factor with people who are already in AIIMS and who know this in-depth thing about AIIMS preparation?
Yes, sir,
And that
definitely.
is
I
why we
think,
see that is why we see a
yeah,
lot of AIIMSonians again getting back into the AIIMS, hai na?
yeah, they are taught also, I think, in that manner. So I think in one way or the other, for example, if we listen in the classrooms, so I think I'm not sure about it, but I'm just assuming it that probably by a remote memory, one just tends to
Yeah,
remember something, I think.
yeah.
So if one is an undergraduate from AIIMS, so I think that factor could play a role. I'm not sure about it
Yeah, I
yet,
mean,
but
it would
yes,
be just a little bit of nudge kind of
yeah,
a thing. Ultimately, background preparation remains the same. But
yeah,
because this is a recurrent thing, I have realized when I speak to people that everybody who gets a good rank in AIIMS, they have a very good idea about the pattern of question in AIIMS. And
yes,
what you said in the beginning is absolutely what everybody says कि INI के लिए सब कुछ पढ़ना जरूरी नहीं होता है. They have a lot of emphasis on pathology and physiology. They have a lot of emphasis on newer drugs,
yes,
anti-cancer agents. They have a lot of emphasis on guidelines which they have only made. And in PSM, they have a lot of emphasis on the parts of preventive health which they have only devised in India.
yes, sir.
जिसमें उनका in the making they have a big role to play. So
Yes,
it is
sir.
kind of that they are telling you कि अगर यहाँ आना है तो हमारे जैसे ही पढ़ो, जो
Yes.
हमने किया है वही हम पूछेंगे, something of that sorts. And tell me about this exam. This was not a typical exam of INI. It was on the tougher side.
Yes,
And
sir.
there were a lot of questions that were bonkers even for the toppers. Even the top 10 ranked people, they have said कि 10-15 question हवा नहीं लगी. So did you prepare for a scenario like this mentally before you went for the exam? And what happened when you saw a paper like this in the exam?
So, actually, one thing I don't know, I was expecting a paper like this.
Acha.
Consciously or subconsciously, I was expecting that the paper is going to be difficult, and
Was it
I need to.
because somewhere background you knew NEET बहुत easy था, November
No,
INI बहुत easy था, तो there is a possibility कि ये वाला tough होगा?
no, that was probably because when I gave the AIIMS exam as an undergraduate, so I had prepared like very well at that point of time, and I was so targeting कि मेरा AIIMS तो हो ही जाएगा. But then the paper was so tough that year, and I panicked. So it was a disaster.
Acha. So it was your previous
And
experience.
yeah, so that was a major learning for me. That one was that don't get over attached to anything you want, and the second was to just be ready for the worst, as
Okay.
we say, prepare for the best,
Prepare
and
for the worst and hope for the
yeah,
best.
prepare. Yeah.
Yeah, but then this was the hoping part didn't really help in this exam.
Yeah, so I think I was really calm, and before the exam I was so disheartened कि ये तो नहीं होगा. I haven't prepared well, so I was still that okay होना तो नहीं है, let's give the exam and see how it goes.
And anyway, you had the question of your all India rank, so you were
Yeah,
assured of a seat. So it was
yeah,
like कि अब तो जो भी है वो है, या तो यहाँ करेंगे या वहाँ करना तो है PG.
yes. So I wasn't stressed at all.
हाँ.
Even before the exam, I did not feel like I was going to give INICET.
Hmm.
So actually the reverse happens with me. I usually don't panic before the exam, but I get a lot of stress after the exam until the result comes.
You are a typical example of a topper category student जो पढ़ाई इतनी अच्छी पढ़ाई कर लेते हैं कि एग्जाम में तो बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट होते हैं, बट एग्जाम के बाद वो रिजल्ट के लिए बड़े कॉन्शियस हो जाते हैं.
Yeah.
And what was your strategy while you were sitting in the examination center? Because from what I've heard with a lot of people who did not make it, is that after around 50-70 questions, they kind of lost track of time because some questions were too huge. Some were very difficult to even understand the topic. तो उनका time management पूरा haywire हो गया. How did you cope up with all those things?
So firstly, again, from my previous mistakes, I knew that time management had to be the priority. And that is something funny, but I started from question number 51 rather than question number 1 because that happens very rarely because the examiners sometimes tend to put longer questions in the beginning so that the students get confused and
अच्छा, मतलब पूरा साइकोलॉजिकली एग्जामिनर को तुमने छान लिया था.
So I started from question 51 and I just I mean I solved according to my routine like 50 questions in 30 minutes. So but it wasn't like that I was giving a lot of time to each question. If I know, actually the questions were very straightforward. It was either you know or either you don't know.
Okay.
There wasn't like there were a very few questions I would say that which needed your like deep thinking about it.
Okay.
So in the first attempt I just did just what I could do, like jaldi se aise.
Achha. How many did you attempt?
Sir, I usually attempt my paper in sets. So like in one go, in the first reading, I attempted 130, which I was expecting because in NEET PG, in my first attempt, I did 147 questions. So I think the 10-15 questions ka gap is expected.
INI mein thoda you attempt on the lower side only.
Yeah, so my first attempt of the paper went to 130. So gradually, I knew that I had to go above 190. So kar karke and I just reached. I attempted 191 in total.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Almost everybody has attempted in the range of 180, 283 to 190. But I've never seen, I've not still spoken to somebody who has attempted 195 and 197 because I think that
wasn't
would have
that
been
kind
a
of a
disaster.
paper.
It was not that kind of a paper. So you kind of knew this thing कि ये अगर इस type का paper आएगा तो I will go on the lower side of attempts.
So I hadn't even thought about it that I'll attempt less number of questions because again from my previous attempt I couldn't complete my paper in my undergraduate exam. So I knew that whatever happens, I just have to attempt it. Yeah. So you just have to go aggressive even if you're short on time. So you have to do it because otherwise.
बदला पूरा ले लिया तुमने AIIMS से अपना, है ना?
Because sir, anyways, I think in this exam, if you just attempt less number of questions, that anyways decreases the probability of getting a rank. So it is very important to go aggressive from the beginning itself.
Okay. Anything specific you want to tell your listeners, your students, your juniors? Now that this is now the second time you have done it.
Yeah, one thing I want to specifically mention now that I have interacted with so many students. So there are some common mistakes which I think people are very commonly doing. First, they don't take guidance from a reliable source. They मतलब कोई भी join कर लेते हैं and then they realize that oh I cannot do this or this is not right for me, and then it's too late to make any changes there. I mean this I think applies to the third or fourth prof students. And to those in the internship, I think either people start late and they keep on contemplating. Like I feel that T&D is a must if you want to prepare. It is really difficult to go to do it by oneself.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
either
T&D kind of keeps you in a schedule thing.
Yeah.
हफ्ते में एक सब्जेक्ट तो करना ही है, भले ही पूरा हो या नहीं हो, टाइम मिले या नहीं मिले, it has to be done.
Yeah. So second mistake which people make. So the second mistake which people make is that they don't start on time in their internship. The third is even if they join the T&D, they don't attend it.
Yes.
And also many people believe that toppers, they do something else, like something out of the box, जिसके कारण they are getting such a good rank. But actually now I realize that that is not the thing. It's I think the small efforts you put in every day which eventually combine at the end.
They just keep on doing it. People fail to realize toppers are persistent people, not genius. In fact, most toppers are more hardworking than they are intelligent.
Yes.
That is especially true in a field like medicine, जहाँ पे aptitude जो होता है उसका बहुत ज़्यादा role नहीं होता है, because we don't per se deal with complex calculations where you require a certain higher level of understanding or thinking. This is more of a learning by reading, and the knowledge is out there. The more knowledge you grasp and remember, the better you become. That is what I always say. कि डॉक्टर में जीनियसनेस का बहुत कुछ रोल नहीं होता है. And toppers are people who are just persistent कि करते रहना है करते रहना है करते रहना है करते रहना है. So yes, that is very true. And now we'll come back to that very unique thing that you have said कि people tend to buy something that they are not really sure of because and then they later on regret. Do you feel that there is too much reliance on social media for unsolicited and unconfirmed advice?
I'm not sure I'll be able to answer this because I haven't used social media for this purpose.
Okay.
I think I had the best guidance from the people I know. And I am here because of that. I mean, I had guidance throughout the MBBS, like from the first year itself.
Whatever people around you, you have taken much of your guidance from there only.
Yeah, my brother and his friends. So all of them are AIIMS only. So
अच्छा. So you had a local banda जो AIIMS में है.
Yeah.
Because that is something that I feel, because I see every day there is a new YouTube channel that is opening and there is no Instagram page. People who have not even got it selected, they have their own Instagram page with 100K followers and they are telling them what are important topics for exam.
Okay. I've never seen this.
That is actually a good thing. I feel that social media has a very negative impact these days.
Yeah.
And one should
just quit social media, I think, for a while when one is preparing, because you are away from the distractions. That is the biggest distraction in today's time, I would say.
For everyone, not just student, but even someone
Everyone.
like me, it is like it takes a lot of your time.
Yes.
So now you are going to be an Amsonian, just like everybody else around you.
Let's see, sir.
You're still with medicine and dharma?
So there's a lot of confusion. So no idea what it's going to be.
No, whatever it is, it will eventually be very good. Usually when you have more options, then the confusion is more. But whatever you will take, you are a very bright student and you have your head on your shoulder. So I know whatever you're going to opt for, ultimately you're going to give your best. And again, I am personally very, very happy, and we as a family in DAMS, we are extremely delighted to be a part of your journey. And of course, we'll stay in touch.
Yes, for sure. So
thank you so much, Dishika. It was really nice talking to you, and I'll see you around again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay, chalo, bye.
Okay.